Hello, this is Noodle Soup, and welcome to the second video in this tutorial series. Now, when you first download GameMaker and you set it up and open it up, it should look like this. Very blank with nothing in it. Now to get started, literally, you just click on New, pick a blank game, and name it. And once you're ready, you click on Let's Go, and now you are met with a blank screen. Before we get started, let's talk about what game development really is. When you take a scene from a game, for example, what exactly is happening? Well, in simple terms, we are creating really complex instructions for the computer to initiate some actions. For example, let's look at movement. In simple terms, the instructions for movement goes as follows. We're going to take the player input. If the player is touching the right arrow, then move them right, etc. If you systematically break down mechanics and problems like this, then that'll pretty much be 90% of your coding. But this video is about sprites, so let's create some. So at first, this UI might look intimidating, but let me simplify this. This bar here is where every function of this GameMaker IDE is hosted, like the play button here for example, the stop button, the going home, etc. This right here is your file explorer. There's literally no other functions other than to hold specific items, so don't think too much about them. And this is your inspector. Right now there's nothing because we don't have anything selected, but basically the inspector is just a tool to analyze and change things about your objects or rooms or whatever, which we'll get into later. Now, let's create our first sprite. We're going to go to our sprites folder, right click, create, and create a sprite. You can name it whatever, but I'm going to name it SPR player. Now here's the image editor, and what you're going to do is click on the edit image. Now if you've drawn before, then this shouldn't be too hard, but for those who haven't, you could do many things, like you could just pick a pencil, start drawing. You can change colors. You can do onion skin, if you know what animating is. And all these tools are right here, shown. If you want to quickly know what a button does, you can just hover over it and it'll tell you. For this case, this is the arc tool, so you click on one area, click on the other, and you can make an arc. But that's basically GameMaker's image editor. This is a square tool, which is the outline part, not the fill part. And let's make a tank. And here we are with our tank, which I've drawn. Very beautiful. And that's pretty much it for the image editor. I would encourage you to keep messing around because all these tools are really cool. Like you could select and then you copy it. When you copy, it doesn't actually like copy as an image, but more like a brush. So you can do stuff like this, and you can rotate it, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, I just encourage you to keep messing with it. Anyways, there's still more to learn about these image editors. Go back to workspace. And now we have this whole menu here. First off, you could adjust the size of the image by going to here, and you can either scale it or resize it. If you scale it, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's go 100 pixels. It'll maintain it, yes, and apply, and it has scaled it, so it's now larger. You can also resize the canvas, so now I can go 100 by 100. Oh crap, well it doesn't matter. And now the canvas is a lot larger. And that's pretty much all you need to know about this section. You can also import images, just in case you don't actually want to use GameMaker's image editor, which is totally understandable. And finally, we have this thing called the origin point. And basically, the origin point is, in simple terms, the center point of which a sprite is drawn. As a simple demonstration, look at this animation. The rotation seems to be correct because it's at the center of the sprite, but look what happens if I move it to the top left. Now when the sprite rotates, it rotates across that axis, that point. So rule of thumb is to choose where you want the center point of your sprite to be. Now the next part that is important for game development is animation. To animate, let's go back to the edit image, and now we have this part right here. You can add a frame, and now if you press play, you notice that's really fast, and that's because we have to adjust the frame rate. Workspace, and then let's adjust it to, let's go 4. And now the animation plays. Now once we've done this, you pretty much know a good amount of what you need to know about the image editor. With this in mind, the sprites that I want you to create is the tank sprite, the tank shooting sprite, the enemy sprite, and the bullet. And once you have those, you can pause the video and go make these sprites, and if you ever forget how to create sprites, then you can go to this timestamp. Okay, welcome back. So once you finish, you should have something like this, where you have the normal tank sprite where he just walks around, the tank sprite where he's shooting, the enemy sprite, which I just made as a zombie. You can make it anything you want. And the bullet sprite. And that's it for this sprites video. We will go over the rooms next episode, which are essential for the GameMaker engine. Thank you for watching.